All right, all right. Welcome back to the Green Logbook. And today it's going to be all about Veterans Benefits Knowledge Base. Let me open up my comments here real quick. Streaming to all these services, to YouTube, to LinkedIn, to Facebook, across all these services. All right. Let's see here. Waiting for some folks to come in. All right. Here we go. Content. Live. On. Okay, so here we go. Veterans Benefits Knowledge Base. Okay, one of the best, if not the best resource online for veterans out there. All right, it's here, actually, let me open it up here. If you all haven't heard about this, all right, so here's what's going on. Sometime about a year and a half ago, when I was deciding to get out of the military, I was compiling like this matrix of information, what I would rate if I got out and got 0% or 10% or 50%, even 100%, right? I just didn't know what I would rate. I was still in uniform at the time, just kind of thinking ahead, throwing numbers on there. What if I get 50%? What would that add to my whatever, my salary or my monthly income, etc. So along with that, I just didn't know what I would rate federally or by state. I wasn't even sure where I was going to live. Was playing around with Virginia, Florida, staying in California, et cetera, et cetera. So I came across, instead of doing all that information, like I was compiling the matrix, and I thought, after I found this website, like, damn, I just did all this work for nothing, because all this stuff was literally online already, and just kind of kicking myself in the ass a little bit. But here, let me open it up. And I'm still waiting on John, my co-host from the Military Retirement Podcast. He mentioned he was going to jump on as well. Let me see here. And share screen. Here we go. Veterans Benefits Knowledge Base. Again, the best, if not one of the best, veterans benefits resources online right now. Okay, this is compiled by, I believe they're veterans. I mean, they got to be veterans, right? There's an About Us page on here, and it's run by Leightonate and staffs from Rock. I don't know who these people are, but apparently they get all the information that is posted up on Reddit. They confirm all the stuff, and then they put it up on this Veterans Benefits KB site, right? It's literally veteransbenefitskb.com, right? So when I was going through all the stuff, getting out of the military and trying to figure out what the heck I'm going to rate federally or by state, I found this website, and holy crap, what a resource. So I'm just going to give you a quick tour on what this is. A longer version of this tour is going to be made into a video here, and I'll upload it to the Green Logbook shortly. But yeah, here we go. VA disability compensation has all these things on here. Ask VA to decide my claim button, buddy letters, commonly overlooked disabilities, dealing with bad examiners, and I see a lot, or at least online, I see a lot of this stuff, dealing with bad examiners, and it kind of gives you a plan on what to do, right? As you know, always do your own due diligence when doing this stuff, but this kind of gives you a starting point on where to look, and it has a ton of links on here and resources. Okay, so examiner insight, filing a VA disability claim. Okay, so here's the thing: is when I came across a couple older folks, right, who are military veterans who have never actually done their VA disability claim. They are rated 0 or 10%, and they just stay as is. I mean, these dudes are from like Desert Storm, Vietnam era. Some of them go to my church and stuff, and I'm wondering, like, why haven't you done that? You rate so much. You rate a lot more than I do. Do your VA disability claim, but they just don't know where to start, right? Hey, shout out to Hellfish Haven. Hey, good to see you on here, buddy. I hear we're going to have you on the show sometime soon. That's in the works, huh? So Looking forward to it. But yeah, here we go. VA disability claims. I mean, if you don't know where to start, hey, this is your resource right here. Go to VA disability, click on that thing, and it gives you who's eligible, active duty service members, National Guard reserves. It gives you all the links that you need here, buddy letters, VA forms, personal statements, intents to file before filing a claim for new disability. A lot of folks have never filed disability. I mean, that was one of the biggest thing that they harped on when I was getting out was, hey, do your BDD claim, benefits delivery at discharge, right? That I mean, shoot, the timeline. I got my VA rating 11 days after IEAF, after my end of active service. I guess back in the day they didn't have that BDD, right? That's a fairly new system. So back in the day they didn't have that, and I guess if you did your VA claim, you did it. If not, then you just went on about your life. I got somebody in my family who did 22 years in the military and has never filed has a 10% rating and never did anything else because they just didn't keep records, right? They never went to medical, et cetera, et cetera. So kind of, it's a bummer, but it is what it is. Here we go. Mr. John, come on up.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey,
Not
so this
much.
is kind of out of the norm, right? So I was sitting here, I did my little workout in the morning, did some pull-ups, did all my Marine Corps stuff, and then listened to the Marines hymn and Anchors Away a little bit. And then I got a little motivated, started perusing through Veterans Benefits KB, and I thought, you know what? More people need to know about this, especially as I came across this older gentleman at my church who is he's got to be a Vietnam veteran and
Wow.
does not have a VA rating. His family's trying to help him out with that. And when I let him know, I gave him my card. I'm like, look, I will do everything in my power to help you out, man. It hurts to see that, right? This guy is like, using the cane. I'm like, I know he's hurt. Some of these things are service connected. They gotta be, man.
A lot of them, yeah.
Back, I'm sure he's inhaled something that maybe he shouldn't have. And I let him know, hey, let me talk to him. Let me see where he is. I mean, things are I'm not a VA claims processor or anything like that. And if they allow me to see his medical records, hey, all the more power to them. But I'm willing to help out however I can, at least connect him with the right people, right? So today, John, I'm just kind of going over Veterans Benefits KB and just kind of going through the website, showing people out there who may not have seen this website what it's all about.
Yeah, it's an excellent resource. We came across it a couple months ago, right? And ever since then, whenever we can, we recommend it. It's got tons of information in there. It's got the master condition list in there, federal benefits list by combined ratings. It's got all kinds of stuff in there. It's easy to search through. It's well researched. The folks that put it up there put it up for free. It's just, it's amazing.
Yeah, and that's the best thing. It's a completely free resource. And there are so many like people who post up on Reddit under the Veterans Benefits tab. I don't know what you call them, tabs or rooms or what on Reddit, but they post up on these things and they compile all the information from there. Like people check it, people fact check it and all that stuff. And they post that information up on this Veterans Benefits knowledge base site. So yeah, just kind of going through all these things. There you go, subreddit. It goes to show you how in tune I am with crap online, right? So yeah, VA disability claims, master conditions list, that's a big one. And we're going to go over that one here shortly because a lot of folks don't know. Like I see these things on these other YouTube channels and online. Hey, my back hurts. What can I get for that? Hey, my leg hurts, or I have flat feet, or I have plantar fasciitis, whatever, GERD, whatever the heck it is. What could I get for that? What are the different levels? Okay, cool. Well, let's go over it. So we're going to get into master condition list here shortly. PNT, all right, permanent and total. Presumptive conditions. This is the big one that's coming up recently. The Agent Orange, the burn pits. So I know there's a lot of folks. You can actually register for all this stuff if you have burn pit exposure, register for the burn pit exposure. Let me see, rating schedules, another big one. SMC. I had no idea what SMC was until somebody told me about it, and I'm like, okay, well, what you mean? I can also claim other things. You may not. Everybody may fall under SMC. I think one of them is like erectile dysfunction or something. Not a lot of people will get that, but it's there if you have incurred something, maybe some kind of injury that affects that area down there. There's even one on VA math.
Yeah.
We all know that VA math does not make sense. All right. 50 plus 50 does not equal 100 in VA. It equals like 60 or something. I don't know.
And if you don't want to do math in public, you can also, I think we did it a couple times where you can throw it into ChatGPT and say, hey, look, here's my ratings. Can you give me the composite rating score? And it'll actually do a really good job of doing that, adding up stuff.
Hell yeah. So yeah, if you want to do that. That's cool. ChatGPT's out there for you. BDD. I'm a big fan of BDD, benefits delivery at discharge. Anybody I know who's getting out of the military, I let them know, do your freaking BDD 180 days prior to, or 180 or 120. I can't recall, but actually,
180.
Why not click on the damn thing? Right. All right. So must submit your service treatment records no later than 90 days before you separate from active service. So if you are between 180 and 90 days before separation, you can file for your BDD claim. So what I did with this, I put that on my calendar. I went to the DAV a little too early, right? And they looked at my end of active service, and they're like, "Yeah, you're too early for this. You got to come back in, I don't know, July something, right?" So I put that before I left the office. I put it on my calendar. All right, I'm coming back on this day. It was like the same week that I hit 180 days, and sure enough, I sat down with somebody. They saw me, and I put everything on a USB drive, all my medical records. They went and uploaded everything to the computer, and DAV did all their magic, right? All that stuff. But the BDD claim, I cannot stress this enough, man. 11 days after my end of active service, I received a percentage, a VA percentage. 11 days, dude. I mean, I was watching that va.gov site like a freaking hawk. But yeah, man, because you just don't know, right? You just don't know. When I was getting out before, I mean, I was still in uniform. I had no idea. Like, I was like, hey, am I actually going to rate anything? Am I going to get 10%, 50%, 100%? I have no idea. And it could really either benefit your life or not. You can add that amount into your daily life. So I just didn't know what I would rate. So BDD really helped me out, just expediting everything. And a lot of folks are still waiting around for their VA claim. Let me see. DBQs, disability benefits questionnaires. Yeah, we've seen that. CMP exams. That was fun. You remember your CMP exam?
Yeah, they were. I mean, it was okay. A couple of them were kind of weird, and I still got a bunch more to do myself. But CMP exams can be, and I think it's slowly changing over time. Right now that we've got Doug Collins in there as the secretary, and he's been moving a lot of things around and changing a lot of things. If you're keeping up with it, you'll see that there's some things going into effect that potentially will eliminate some of the CMP exams, or at least the excessive ones that you don't really need. If you have a fully developed claim and you've got all your documentation and everything there, there's a lot of cases where you don't really need a CMP exam, but they send you to one anyway. And it's kind of a waste of your time. It's a waste of government money. I think they're trying to really hack down on that and close some of that stuff off.
Yeah. And I still remember my CMP exams, and I mean, it was short and sweet and all that. I came in there super organized with all my stuff. But just understand that you don't want to reschedule this stuff. If you have these CMP exams, excuse me, what everybody tells me is, hey, it doesn't matter if they tell you to come in on a Sunday and it's 100 miles away. You need to make it, because if not, then the rescheduling is going to be like past your VA disability, or you're past your BDD timeframes. So sure enough, mine happened to be like on a Friday, 3 hours away. And that was like the only place that would see me 3 hours away, right? In this little, it was for optometry. The entire thing took me like 30 minutes to go see the doc there. I hate it. Yeah, it sucked. And they're going to dilate my eyes. So I had to ask my wife, hey, can you take off of work too? Because I need somebody to take me there. Such a pain in the ass, man. But you got to get it done, dude. You got to get it done.
If you want to go up, there's, he said something about CMP exams.
Oh, yeah.
Toes and touch the front. Yeah. Bending over, touch your toes, all that stuff.
Touch your toes, huh? Get on the floor and go.
Yeah.
Sing some Little John here, huh? I think they're just messing with us, man. They're just playing Little John in the background. Get on the floor and touch it from the windows. All right, duck walk from the windows to the wall.
Yeah.
Let's see it. My first CMP for herniated disc. I don't even know what that is. 15S1, just pinching both S1 nerves down both legs with pain and to feet.
Yeah.
Fuck, man, what's going on with my reading right now? I'm reading this and I'm reading it backwards. All right. Guy had me touch my toes and touch the door frame and told me to get a job as a cop or something. Cop or something. I got 10% for back pain.
Wow. It's more than I got for back pain.
Prepared. Yeah, man. L5S1. Yeah, there you go. So that's it, huh? Touch your toes, touch the door frame, go get a job as a cop or something.
Get 10%. Hey, if you go up right up under the BDD, there's a drop down there, and I was going to tell you, you might want to kind of highlight that because there's a bunch of stuff in there that when people are maybe putting in their first claim or they've got out and they haven't ever put a claim in for a couple of years, and now they're trying to go through the process. There's a bunch of stuff in there like secondaries and tertiary claims and all kinds of things in there, different types of claims, and also the weird ones, right? Fully developed claim, 1151s. There's a bunch of stuff in there for extra claim stuff.
Yeah. So here we go. Like sleep apnea is being shown as secondary to another condition. Okay. So that's what it would show up when you get your VA letter, right? Yep. And the VA sends you this entire packet on what you rate. It was like a whole packet that I got. I got it sitting in my file here somewhere. Yeah, no, all good stuff. All good stuff. Yeah. So the increase, inferred, original, secondary. I think, no, I just clicked on that one. Federal tort. Okay. Deferred claims. Deferred means a deferred condition still requires further development. Common examples include federal records were not requested. Private medical records are not requested. Okay. So that's one thing that I almost came across. So I had seen so many like specialists and so many like civilian doctors that I had to go back to each one. And I contacted them about medical records that they might have. So I didn't realize it at the time, but like the chiropractor that I was going to see in North Carolina, and like it was like 10 years prior to me retiring, I called this guy up. I'm like, hey, do you guys happen to have records? Thankfully, they did. I don't know how long they need to keep records for, but thankfully they had something, and I got it all because I saw this guy for like 30 sessions. You know, this was after a car accident I had. But no, it was all good. But yeah, it's definitely keep all the stuff from your civilian docs as well. Let me see. Filing an appeal, which seems to be a big one. So all this good stuff in here, man. If you do not agree with your claims decision, you may file an appeal. Just like filing a claim, you may use the assistance of a VSO lawyer or an accredited agent. Filing a claim, eligibility. Oh, no. Okay, that's going back to regular claims. Get off my screen. Damn it. Okay. Before you file an appeal, your claim, do so in a formal manner. Do not run back on the battlefield without a plan. Read your decision letter. Was all the evidence you submitted listed under evidence considered? What were the favorable findings? What does it say your claim was missing? Or did it say you missed an exam? All right. So yeah, I mean, basically it takes you through all the stuff on here, man. It's so good. See what else. This is like Chuck E. Cheese for adults, man. For veterans.
There's also another drop down there at the bottom, like the fourth from the bottom, service connection types. And then I'll walk you through the different kinds of service connection types. If it's direct, presumptive, secondary, tertiary, if it's just an aggravation, those are things that you should probably know when you're putting your stuff together. Again, highly recommend whether you go through DAV or like any of your local county VSOs or anything like that. Get a VSO to help you out with this stuff. Don't just try to do it on your own. I mean, you can, but it's going to probably take you a lot longer than it would if you had somebody there to walk you through the process, help you prepare everything, get your documentation together, get your health records together. If you didn't get a chance to do a BDD, if you're claiming 2 or 3 years after you got out, like myself, it definitely helps.
Yeah. Well, here's one I didn't even know that that existed, was ROTC claims. That's a thing, huh?
Never even heard of it.
ROTC claims. If you're on orders, ROTC cadets who are injured while on Title 10 orders, such as going to airborne school, are eligible to submit a claim for disability compensation as this period of service is considered active duty for training, ADT. Huh, look at that.
Interesting.
If you're not on orders, ROTC cadets who are injured while participating in unit-related activities while not under orders may file a claim, receive health care benefits under Federal Employees Compensation Act. Okay, gotcha. See, these are things like I would have never known this had I not come under here. But I mean, every so often I just jump on here. Another good one to know is National Guard reservist claims.
Yep.
You know, that is something I am not really well versed on. I was never a guard or a reservist. I was active duty all the way through for 20 years. So, but a lot of folks ask about that, right? Like, hey, what about National Guard? What about reservists? Dude, I wish I knew. Let me learn about it.
Yeah, I did traditional reservist Title 32 for a handful of years, and then I came back on Title 10 as an active guard reservist, which is basically full-time active duty, but you then also get to hang out with reservists on the weekends once a month. So yeah, there's a lot of different, and we spoke about it on our podcast, the gray area retirement stuff, but it makes sense that the ROTC stuff is under the Title 10 active duty for training stuff would be considered claimable as a VA claim, because reservists and National Guardsmen do the same. National Guardsmen and women do the same thing when they do active duty orders for training, or if they go to a service school or something like that, they're on active duty Title 10 orders in a lot of cases. So they have things like, I think you scrolled past it in the very top, it's called LOD. If you're on a drill weekend or something like that, you can put in an LOD if something happens. And then if you need to claim that, then you can go back to that LOD and use that as part of your documentation.
Oh yeah. And a comment from Hellfish Haven as well says he's a guardsman who did 13 years in service, but 9 years active. If you need anything in that area, let me know for Title 10 tours. And WTU time. What is WTU?
Warrior Transition Unit.
Warrior Transition Unit.
Yeah, that's when you get really injured, and then they send you to this unit in some active duty base, and you do a lot of rehabilitation and things like that, and then they eventually release you out into the civilian world. In most cases, I believe.
Is it like Wounded Warriors?
Kind of like that, yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, line of duty. Yeah, you were just talking about line of duty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Active duty support. So there's a whole lot. I mean, folks out there who are looking to get information on this, I mean, Hellfish Haven or even Veteran Benefits KB on here. Let me see here. Stages of a claim status. Okay. There's a whole, whole map on here.
Flow charts.
So, yeah, right. Intent to file, claim received, initial review, evidence gathering, evidence review, rating, preparing decision letter, preparation for decision notification, final review, complete, request, supplemental claim. Okay. Facts. Okay. What do I do while I wait?
Don't look at your VA.
Yeah. You can sit there and check va.gov every minute.
Refresh, F5, F5.
That's it. Shit, man, that was me, dude. For real, it was me.
Yeah.
I was like, "When's it gonna hit? When's it gonna hit?" And then people were calling me up or texting me. Like, dude, I had buddies who retired around the same time I did, and they're like, "Hey, dude, I just got my VA ready, man. What about you?" I'm like, "No, is there something wrong?" You son of a bitch. No.
Yeah.
Let me see.
And also remember those stages of the claim process aren't necessarily linear. They're kind of like the stages of grief. Like you can go from 1 to 5, but sometimes you go back to 3, sometimes you go back to 2, and then you jump back to 4. And it's not a linear process. It doesn't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then done.
Yeah.
Right. It jumps back depending on who's looking at it, what they're checking, what research they're doing on your claim, and if they're pulling records and like all that stuff. So just understand it's the stages of the VA claim is like the stages of grief. It's never linear.
Yeah, that's right. I'm glad you brought that up.
And you probably experience the stages of grief while you're waiting for your VA claim to process. So there's that.
See what stages of claim. VA math. I was going to click on that one. 2 + 2 = 5. That's pretty much it, right? 2 + 2 = 5. So 10% combined with a 10% is 19. Okay, so I'm looking at to see how I read this here. Row 19. So the row. What are the rows here? Longhand. Okay. Back equals if. All right. Here's an example of Jeff's rating. Right. Everybody can see this, right? His back is 40%. Jeff's total person starts at 100%. 100% minus 40% equals 60%. Jeff's combined total rating starts at 0% is 40%. Okay, so I'm trying to make sense of that, man. I don't do math in public. I'm just reading what's written on here. But I do know that 10 + 10 does not equal 20. You know, just like you saw it equals 19, right?
Yep.
And don't you have to hit like past the threshold of say like the 20 in order to hit the 20?
Yeah, you gotta go over the number in order to get the number. So if you're looking at 100% and you've got everything like stacked up and you've got 90 like 3 or 4%, then you don't actually get to 100%. So you hit 95 or above, I guess. I think that's the way the math goes.
So something like maybe a 58% would not be a 50% or a 60%. It would have to be something like a 66% or a 64% to be a 60. Right?
Yeah, I believe that's the way it goes. 42, 8.4 is 33.6. The 8.4 is obtained for taking the 20 of 42. 58 plus 8.4 is 66.4, which would be...
Dude, are you doing math on the live stream right now?
Yeah, of course. That's what I do. I'm a nerd.
No, man, not I. So yeah, it's let me see. Let's look back at Jeff, and instead of 40% back rating, he has a knee rating of 10%. All right. Left knee is 30%. His combined rating is 30%. His right knee, it comes in at a 10%. That means his rating is now 37%. Okay, bilateral factor, whatever the hell that is. Bilateral conditions comes to 41%. Left shoulder 20% and brings it up to 53%. And then his left wrist is rated at 10%, brings it up to a 58%. Jeff's combined rating rounds up. Okay, so it does round up, rounds up to 60%. Okay, got it. So that makes sense, right?
Below 5, it rounds down. Yeah, so they spell it out in that how to use thing. It says if you have a 60, a 40, and a 20, you basically start at the 60 row. You go over to the 40 column, and then you find out that that's a 76%. And then from there, you go to the 76 row, which is down below the 60 row. And then you slide over to the 20 column, and that gives you the 81%, which gives you a combined total yield of 80%, basically, because it rounds down to 80%.
Got it. Okay. Oh, there we go. So that's what y'all need to know about VA math. It's never just like this. Crazy. 2 + 2 = 5. Yeah, it's kind of weird. where's that one I wanted to bring up here? Master condition list. I really wanted to touch on this one, man, because this can help a lot of folks out who have questions about, their back, their GERD, whatever the heck it might be. So you go down here and it kind of tells you everything. It's an alphabetical list of all the conditions listed within the rating schedule, as well as containing some common but not all analogous and equivalent conditions. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. All right, let's go down here. So abdominal pain. I mean, it's all alphabetical, right? Abdominal pain. It tells you all the information about it. Okay, let's go down. The intestines. All right. There are 2 large intestines. All right. It gives you some information about it. Potential irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, irritable colon syndrome, an intestinal disorder. All right. Tells you a little bit about it. Presumptive condition. If exposed to Gulf environment hazards or POW for at least 30 days, and the severity warranted at least 10% evaluation at any time. All right. So rating 10%. This is what would give you 10% rating, 20% rating, 30% rating there. Okay, so I guess that's the max for abdominal pain then is 30%. I mean, that's all that's listed on here.
Yeah, it should give you the 0 to whatever the max is. So it maybe goes like 0, 10, 20, 30, and 30 would be the highest rating you could get for it. But then if you look at the what the VA is looking at as far as how to rate that at 0, 10, 20, 30, the requirements get incrementally more in depth. So like headaches, for example, if you have 1 headache a week versus 2 headaches a week versus 4 headaches a week, and then combine that with whatever medication you're taking, how it affects your job or your daily work life or your daily home life, it's all spelled out in there in those ratings. And then that'll tell you basically where you sit and where you fall, as long as you've got the evidence to back it up. And as long as you've got the medical examiner saying, yes, he meets these requirements for this, this, and this, so that they can make that and the service connection of where it actually started. If you were in service, if you want the service connection to be able to link those 2 together.
Gotcha. All right. All right. And then we have the common secondary conditions here that we talked about. So like hemorrhoids, mental health, stuff like this. Bam. All right. So it'll take you down here. Just a few minutes ago when I was talking about all this stuff, I didn't realize that it didn't go to the next screen, that it was still showing the master list on there. So now it's like I opened up another one and everybody can see on here. So bam, if you got hemorrhoids, this is what you get. Secondary conditions. Nice, but not nice. My pause? No, I'm good. All right. So let's go back to the master list here. Is that Dennis on the line there? Dennis on the chat? Good stuff. Keep up the work. Keep up the work, gents. I like it. We will keep up the work. All right. Let's remove this one and then go back to that screen there. Where are you? Master condition list. BAMSs. Okay. Master condition list. Is there any other one that we can kind of talk about here? Achilles tendon, acne. Is acne? I didn't realize acne was a covered thing.
Lots of things are covered.
Let's check it out, shall we? Let's see. Where the hell? I gotta keep going back and forth. Chloracne. Okay, acne, pimples. All right, got it. Skin condition. So you can get up to 30% for deep acne affecting 40% or more of the face and neck. That's got to be pretty, like pretty deep. Yeah. All right. Deep acne, deep inflamed nodules. Oh, a little rough. But there's a rating for it. Cool. Alopecia. Alopecia areata. Okay. Loss of all body hair, loss of eyebrows. Okay. So I know a few folks that have that alopecia, and they've been in active service. They just have like kind of bald spots and stuff here and there.
Yeah.
So you can lose your eyebrows and stuff. So I also just to kind of piggyback off all this stuff is the VA also gives access to dermatologists as well. So that's also good. If you have a skin condition, you can go talk to your doc at the VA, and they will refer you out to a dermatologist. Usually one out in the community, and they'll kind of talk to you about your skin. And there's been folks who have posted up about receiving like skincare products and stuff. Maybe their skin is sensitive to sunlight or something. They'll receive something instead of having to pay for that stuff out of pocket. So that's good stuff. See, you said lots of guys and girls get back acne. I've seen. Yeah, they're out there, man. They definitely are. Okay, so let's go back to the master list here. Master condition list. What other thing can we bring up here? Hepatitis, acute brain syndrome. But yeah, as you all can see, I mean, it is amputation of the hand, the hip, everything, huh? That's one of the SMCs right there, is the loss the loss of an organ. So we'll get into that in a second. Let's see. Everything on here. I mean, let's go to GERD real quick, because GERD sucks. I'm sure all these suck, but I mean, there's a ton of them, right? Gastritis, gastro, GERD. Here we go. This is the big one. I know a lot of folks who have this stuff, and I mean, it's got some ratings on here, up to 80% off of just one. Recurrent or refractory esophageal strictures causing difficulty swallowing with at least one symptom present, accidental breathing in of food or fluid into the lungs, undernutrition, substantial weight loss as defined by and treatment with either surgical condition or percutaneous, damn these words, esophageal gastrointestinal tube, the PEG tube, PEG tube. But yeah, I mean, it's up there. It can get up to 80%, right? The main thing is, does it bother you? Does it hurt? I mean, I'll be upfront. I got this, and when I drink stuff, when I eat stuff, I'll feel it's a freaking pain right here. It's like right in between my rib cage and my top abdomen right there, and it hurts like hell, dude. To the point I didn't know what it was at first. I had to like stretch out. I would close the door to my office. I would take off my blouse, right, my Marine Corps blouse, and I would lay on the floor, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? It was it hurt. It really hurt, and I had to go see the doc about that and all that. I didn't see the doctors until like the last 2 years of my my Marine Corps career. I just didn't want to be put out of my position. I thought if I went to go see the doc about anything, they'll be like, hey, look, you can't perform the mission anymore. We got to kick you out of here. Let's see here. Oh, let me see. Hellfish over here is calling me out, man. You're right, man. Let me change the screen here. Let's see, I keep having to do that, man. I keep messing up on that.
If you share the window instead of the tab,
yes,
it should give you everything in that window. So whatever, it's the Google Chrome or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah, let me close all my other windows so you can't see all the research I'm doing on proboscis monkeys. Strangest monkeys in the land, proboscis monkeys they are. Here we go. So let's share the window here. Share window. Master condition list. Bam. Okay. All right. Now you all see it. Yes. Okay. So what I was talking about was this right there. GERD. Here we go. 80%. And I always wondered, like, you can't rate 40 or 60
for GERD.
like, yeah, I mean, I don't see too many 40s or 60s.
Do they have a breakdown by percentage? Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. I have to look it up. But yeah, let's go back to this guy here. I don't know. Let's play a game of share your share your disability, and we'll look it up here. So anybody out there who wants to share what they got. But yeah, I mean, everything's on here really for the most part. You got hammer toe, right? That's covered. Hay fever, HPV, headaches, straight up headaches, right? What happens when you have headaches? Everybody has headaches. Migraine headaches. So this is a big one here too. Oh shit! Somebody was in my front door. All right, migraine headaches. If there's like loud noises, maybe like the light hits you the wrong way, and you get these migraine headaches, then you can claim that, right? So 50% very frequent, completely frustrating and prolonged attacks, productive of severe economic inadaptability. 30% at least once a month, 10% once in 2 months. I mean, kind of hard to gauge that, but what I was always told was, what is it like at its worst?
No.
So at its worst, I mean, if you're getting headaches more than once a month, you might rate 50% on that guy. Just make sure you keep your medical records tight.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, I just got a little bird just whispered in my ear and said to mention that if you don't have evidence to back up your claim, then you basically don't have a claim. But he did also say the best way to get this done is to document via va.gov and message your providers, and those messages get put into your record. So going through the VA website and messaging providers through the VA website, if you use VA providers, any of those messages that you send to those providers will get added to your records, so you can keep track of that stuff and have evidence to back up your claim.
Excellent. And Hellfish Haven has graciously put out some things we could look up. Let's look at tinnitus. That's a big one too. The ringing, the E in your ear. Let's see, tinnitus. Tinnitus. Here we go. Ringing in the ears. So 10%, right? 10%.
No, still 10%.
Yeah, it's something, right? 10% will get you. It'll get you there. It'll get you some kind of rating, right? So, or tinnitus will. Ringing can come and go, be constant, be really loud or soft. The veteran can only get a singular rating, no matter if there is tinnitus in one or both ears. Okay, got it. So there you go. What's the other one? Migraines. I think we covered the migraines. Back pain with radio. Pain. Yeah, there you go. That's a big one. I know, John, you and I have been struggling with that guy.
This week I've literally been struggling with it, and I'm actually going back to the doc on Wednesday to get some stuff checked out and get some new scans. But yeah, back pain is a tough one. It's really, really, really tough, and you got to have a lot of. I don't know what you got to have. I really don't, because I've turned in a lot of evidence, a lot of charts, a lot of medical records for that, and it's just boggles me that it has no rating on it.
Yeah, this is me every morning, dude. Right here, I do this every morning. I get up and I try to at least.
Training for the test chart.
Yeah, that's it. But no, man, just to stretch out the back, dude. Let's see. So Hellfish Haven, you can get 100% if your entire spine is frozen in an unfavorable position. Hopefully that's not the case, man. Hopefully you can still move.
Yeah, I'd rather have 50% and be able to actually walk.
Yeah, for real. I can't even imagine that. So this is just kind of a. I don't know that it has the radioapathy, does it? I don't. So, spine, arthritis of the spine. The tailbone. Bowel. I'm not seeing it. The bones, joints. No, but I mean, play around with it here. I mean, you could probably find it, but just know, I mean, if your spine is frozen, then you got 100%, right? So that's something. Let's see what else we got here. There's everything on here. There's a whole bunch of stuff. They've taken a ton of stuff. They put it into one resource, one website, and we should probably talk to these dudes, see if they want to come on the military retirement podcast or something.
Yeah, I've reached out to them. I haven't really gotten any responses back. And plus the nature of Reddit is kind of, it's got a veil of anonymity to it. So a lot of people like to keep that anonymity. But yeah, I've reached out to a bunch of folks on Reddit as far as coming on the show and talking. And some people just don't want to come online and talk.
It's all good, man. But I mean, they have everything on here, death, survivor benefits.
Yeah.
If you don't know, if you rate something or if you will rate something, this is your go-to. All right. Let's see. They have a death to-do list. Okay. Let's see. I'm curious about this plan. Grief is the price we pay for love. Queen Elizabeth II. All right. Of course, we got 988. Very good. Documents you may need to complete the to-do list: Social Security, marriage certificate, birth certificate, insurance policies, deed, bank books, discharge papers, recent income tax, W-2 forms, auto titles, registration paperwork, loan installments. So, I mean, I guess that's if you're getting older, and I don't know, but it's good that it's there. All right, survivor benefits, life insurance. This is a big one too, life insurance. I talk to my wife about it every so often because we do have life insurance, and she doesn't like it when I bring it up, but I'm like, it's a reality. You have to know where these documents are because life happens, so if you don't have it already, I opted not to go with VGLI. I'm opting out of the SBP. I think here in December 1st, I hit my 2 years of being retired, which went by fast.
Yeah.
But at that point in time, between my second and third year, I'll be able to opt out of SBP, Survivor Benefits Plan. It's some folks want to keep it, some folks don't want it. But as for me, it's damn near almost $300 a month, and to get $1,500 a month for my family to live, I'm like, I'd rather just do like a lump sum payment of $1 million policy or something.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's just me. I mean, your mileage may vary, folks out there. SGLI, TSGLI, FSGLI. Okay. Education, employment. This was a big one too. I mean, this one has a potential to have if you have the right ratings and all that stuff, you can your family could be covered if you live in the right state. Not the right state, but if you live in a state that provides you good educational benefits, man, your whole family could be covered. So this one's huge. I mean, I live in California. They have good educational benefits here, and so I never really have to worry about anything for my kids. Shit, you want to go to Berkeley, you want to go to wherever, go. It's all covered for you.
Yeah.
I know Florida has some good ones. Texas has some good ones too. So, GI Bills. John, do you know how often they update this site?
I do not know how often I'm sure that they probably keep good tabs on it, because if you go to their Reddit, the subreddit, they've got a ton of information in there, and they just are constantly putting together information, documentation, getting all that stuff together. I do not know if they actually put on here when and how they update, but I can try to find that out real quick.
Just wondering if you knew.
Nope.
Let me see. GI Bill. So GI Bill extension, what is that? If you separated before January 1st, 2013, your post 9/11 GI Bill expires 15 years after you separated from the military. Then for the Montgomery GI Bill, no matter when you separate, it expires 10 years after you separated from the military. Good news is there is hope for those who had life turn up and make ruin of best laid plans. Okay. Okay, so eligibility to extend your GI Bill. You had a disability or illness that prevented you from using your GI Bill. It does not have to be service connected. You had used, were using the GI Bill and were called back to active duty. You were held by foreign government power after your last period of service, or you were impacted by the ROTC Supreme Court decision. This one is a real thing. Like that one, as of what, April, has been in effect.
ROTC,
yeah, ROTC, yep. Requesting extension. Man, there's so much good information on here, man. I'm so glad these dudes put this together. You know, requesting an extension tells you like step by step. Nobody can come on here and say, I don't know how to do it. You know, it's freaking somebody put it out there step by step. Somebody actually sat there and typed this, or maybe they just chat GPT'd it, but somebody made the site and put it on there for you. Yeah, you cannot say you don't know. Work study program, VR&E. I'm a big supporter of VR&E. Awesome. States offering free tuition to veterans and their dependents. This one's big.
Yeah.
Okay, so the green is veterans and dependents. The yellow is dependents only. The orange is veterans only. I think that's only Massachusetts up there. And U.S. Virgin Islands. And then the red is nothing. You got nothing. Sorry, Georgia, Tennessee,
Niente.
Missouri, Ohio, Michigan, Colorado, Idaho. Nada. So, yeah, it's all laid out alphabetically. Who gets what? So good, man. Look at this. What the hell do I get? Okay, so spouse. I know here in California, my wife can go and get her stuff for free. My daughter's in college, so she gets her stuff for free and gets a Chapter 35 stipend as well. It's like $1,600 or $1,500 a month. So definitely look out for that. But every state has something for the most part. Let me see. Mass is catching up slowly with benefit. Okay, Massachusetts. Here we go. What does Massachusetts have? I just passed it. Full or partial waiver of tuition. This is for who? This is for, oh, it just says details. Full or partial waiver of tuition determination is up to the individual institutions. Okay. Mass, full or partial. Okay. Oh, nice. It takes you to the actual legislation website. Okay. Very cool. Very nice. Very nice. So, GI Bills, Edith Norris Rogers, become a veteran, becoming a VSO. For all the folks out there who are wondering how to become a VSO, BAMSIS, click on this guy. If you want to help veterans and their dependents take on the VA juggernaut, if you're a guru on veterans benefits, if you don't mind low pay or no pay at all, well, we'll see. Veterans, there are two kinds of organizations: government, non-government, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. All right. Nice. It takes you out through all the states on here. Of course, Calvet. Yeah. I think VSOs require a master's degree, don't they?
I don't know if they require a degree, but I know there's a bunch of VSO training that you have to do. Like there's a training certification to become a VSO.
Let's see. Non-government. Okay, so these are the non-government ones. Okay, easy. Okay, VSOC, Yellow Ribbon Program. That's a big one. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Healthcare, Champ VA. If you don't rate TRICARE, you may rate Champ VA. There you go. Community care, dental care, registries, TRICARE, VA. So, man, TRICARE right now is a freaking is winning the game, dude.
Yeah.
When everything is going up, like insurance wise, like 3 4 times the amount of what you normally pay. TRICARE for families is what? Like I have a family of 5, dude. It's what? $63 I pay a month, and we're all covered. Minus like the dental stuff. I still have like dental insurance through my wife's job, but that's like another what, $30 a month. It's better than paying several thousands.
Yeah.
Service dogs, hearing, mobile apps, whole health. I covered whole health program on another video. This one's pretty cool. Anybody out there who likes like archery, kayaking, stuff like that, whole health is awesome. Get with your doctors and ask them about it, your VA docs. They have all these different events and things that you can do through whole health. Let's see. I wish they had a list of them. They don't have a list of them here. But they had stuff like archery, kayaking, going out there, yoga. Like it's all paid for. Very cool stuff. Service dogs. If you don't know how to get a service dog, here you go. Everything you need. Eligibility for a service dog. Diagnosed with a visual, hearing, or substantial mobility impairment. The VA clinic team that is treating the veteran for such impairment determines that it is best for the veteran to manage their impairment and live independently through the assistance of a trained service dog and have the ability and means to care for the dog. If the veteran themselves is unable to do so, then the family or caregiver must be able to do so. So damn, it gives you everything, how to apply for it, the benefits, equipment, things that are not covered, etc. Housing, homeless assistance. I know that's big here in California, trying to get veterans, the homeless veterans, a place to stay. Housing, states with property tax exemptions for veterans. The newest one that they're working on is Texas right now, and that's for the Purple Heart veterans who have received the Purple Heart. The order of the military order of the Purple Heart organizations in Texas is looking to push a full property tax exemption for veterans in Texas who have received the Purple Heart. So no matter what their VA disability rating is. So that more to come on that one. I know they're trying to get something done by the end of the year. Yeah. Here you go. Property tax exemption. Alabama, Alaska. Actually, I'll go up here. Who has full property tax exemption? Wisconsin. Is that Wisconsin? Is that Wyoming or Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Virginia, South Carolina, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma. Is that Montana? Missouri? Montana. Fuck, I don't know.
MO is Missouri.
Missouri. There you go.
And then it's Montana.
Partial. All these are partial. I know California here is partial. Full and partial. Yeah. So yeah, there's so much good info on here, man. And just kind of go down the list. What do you rate? Where are you from? Guam, 100%. Full exemption if you're 100% in Guam.
100% TDIU.
If you're TDIU, yeah.
Or yeah.
Puerto Rico, 100% if you're full exemption if you're 100%. Puerto Rico. It's not bad, man. Let's see. VA pension, Aiden, housebound, survivor's pension, Medal of Honor pension, miscellaneous. Let's see what else we got up on here. Cold War certificates, dependents, discharge upgrades. I know when I was active duty, we had a bunch of folks who would come on base with their dependents. I guess they knew somebody who was active duty, and they were just asking about discharge upgrades. Hey, I got a general discharge. How do I get it upgraded to an honorable? I'm like, hey, I don't know. You got to appeal to whoever it is, Naval Discharge Review Board, etc. So this kind of walks you through exactly what you have to do. Administrative decisions, etc., etc. Okay. Living overseas as an expat. You know anything about that, John?
None about the sort. I actually have that page open on my screen right now.
Oh, do you?
I've been looking at it for like the last 10 minutes while you're talking.
So I was I was thinking about. I was just looking at videos of other countries and all that as I kind of go through this rabbit hole on YouTube and seeing what expats are doing living in other countries. And we had this other dude over on the Green Law Book. I had this guy, this other guy, John, who was living in Dominican Republic, Army veteran. And his whole thing is he helps folks move overseas, right? He was telling me the story about how he doesn't own a car in Dominican Republic. He owns an ATV, and he just uses the ATV to get around wherever he needs to go. And he's like, he goes to the market. If he wants to go to the beach, ATV. And if not, he's just walking everywhere. And his he had a 2-bedroom condo or townhouse or something. It was like $500 a month. I'm like, that's insane, dude. Like 3 blocks from the beach or something. It was what a life, But he's also a single guy. So yeah. But there's a ton of expats, man. I got a buddy of mine who lives over in Ecuador. I mean, this guy's got a maid. He's got a maid that comes, a housekeeper that comes, twice a week, once a week, twice a week, and then somebody who cooked for them when they don't want to cook, and he's just living off his retirement pay. That's it. Not even touching his VA disability pay, just his retirement pay. Let's see. We got a question from Heartbreaker 6. If my claim is getting hung up on a National Guard STR and they have my active duty STR, could I call or submit something to not use that STR to determine my claim?
I don't know what STR is.
Yeah,
State Tuition Reimbursement Program. Is that what we're talking about? Just throw it in the comment if you want there, Heartbreaker, what exactly it is. I'm seeing State Tuition Reimbursement Program.
Yeah, let's clarify that, and then we'll look for an answer for you. Service treatment record.
Okay. Service treatment record. Duh. Thanks. Thank you. So, National Guard service treatment record, and they have my active duty service treatment record. Could call or submit something. Claim is getting hung up on my National Guard service treatment record, and they have my active duty service treatment record. Could call something to not use the service treatment record to determine my claim. Yeah, I mean, first of all, anything that we say or do, you may want to do your own research on it as well, because we're not the end all be all. We are certainly not VSOs. We're just 2 guys putting out a lot of good information for veterans across the board. Secondly, I would say,
I would. I mean, it depends on how long it's been hung up, right?
Yeah.
What Victor would do was would be, I would wait on both of them, because I mean, if that can get you over the threshold of a percentage on your claim, then I would wait on both. As far as could you call or submit something to not use that, that would have to be directly with the VA.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, if they're in the process of doing it, sorry to cut you off there, Vic. If they're in the process of doing your claim right now, I mean, I appreciate you throwing it in the chat. It's very interesting question. But if it's in the process of doing it and you've got it in your VA app or in your va.gov, and you can see they're on like step 3 or whatever, I would probably not interrupt the process until they're done finishing with the process. And then if you have to go back and do an appeal or something like that, or just to see like what are they using, why are they using it, how are they giving you the rating they're giving you, if they give you a 0 or a 10 or a 50, and then based on what they give you back as feedback in that claim process, once it's finished, then you can go back and do secondary, tertiary actions on that process if you need to do kind of rebuttal or something like that, or a higher level review, anything like that.
Yeah. One thing I would say too is, if you're going to pull your part of your claim, as it says right here, and I've always heard this too, if you pull something or you change something, you will lose your effective date.
Exactly.
So just be careful with that.
Yep. Yes.
So yeah, it's getting hung up, but I also understand that a lot of folks maybe are out of work at the moment. So
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's
definitely
Tennessee
a
National Guard,
consideration.
so it's probably at state level, but I don't know exactly what the state's doing right now. What's going on here? Okay, there we go. So yeah, I just pulled up this withdrawing an appeal claim link, and I'll throw it in the, just for ease of use, I'll throw it in the chat here.
Hmm.
If Heartbreaker, if you're interested, there you go. Let's see. Joseph Simpson, do you have any experience in making new claims? I just retired and got my initial rating, but there are things that I brought up that weren't addressed on my rating letter. Oh man, let's see here.
So I'm in the process of going after more claims. I did my claims. My initial claim was horrible because I ended up doing it basically myself. My BDD thing didn't go through. I got really jacked up with the process itself, and I was kind of pissed off, to be honest. But I'm in the process of doing my claim now. So if you just came off of active duty, I'm assuming you got your BDD claim put in and your initial rating back based on that BDD claim. To start a new claim process, the very, very, very first thing that I would do is go put an intent to file on the VA website. If you haven't been able to log in there yet, which you probably have if you were checking your rating, go in there and find the intent to file. And you can do it electronically, or you can fill out the thing and send it in. I would just do it electronically. The intent to file does not mean you're submitting any documentation. It's that you're not submitting any claims paperwork or anything like that. You're just basically telling the VA, hey, there's stuff I want to claim, and I want you to start from this date where I'm telling you my intent is to file for this claim. And then from that date, you basically get 365 days to get all your paperwork together, your doctor's analysis, any kind of buddy letters or supporting documentation, any legal documentation that you may need to have to put together to get your claim put in. Make sure that you have your evidence for it, that it's evidence-based claim, that you're not just going in there and saying, hey, my stuff is messed up and I was on active duty at this time and this is why it was messed up. Definitely within that first year after you come off of active duty, but the intent to file is the very, very first thing I would do. And then that'll give you 365 to go ahead and get together all your paperwork and what you need to do to be able to put that claim in. Again, I would probably reach out to a VSO. As Vic mentioned, he's gone through the DAV. They did a bunch of great work. They got his claim processed and filed and put together. I would also reach out to a VSO. Yep.
Real quick. So yeah, Joseph, hey, we appreciate the question, man. We really do. It's it really does, when we don't know something, it really does push us to research this stuff as well. So yeah, we really appreciate it. Let me see what else we got here. So yeah, I just pulled a filing an appeal. I didn't know if that had anything to do with his question or anything. Let me go back here to the beginning here. The pension, miscellaneous, legal help. So this one is legal help for veterans, right? This is a big one that whenever I go to these veteran fairs, here in San Diego, there's always a tent for legal help for veterans, like court help and stuff like that. There's something out there for you, so definitely check out this link. Yeah, find out what the resources are. Let me see. There's some homeless services. Yeah, being that there's a lot of homeless around the area, like in Southern California, that they usually have a lot of resources for homeless folks. If maybe you're struggling with something like that, definitely check this one out. Let's see, Hellfish Haven. What's he got here? There's a spot online where you can check claim status that you can click. There is no further information to be provided. Click that to take off 3 to 6 month holding pattern.
Nice.
Huh. Where is that spot?
I don't know. I must have missed that spot because it took a while for my claim to come back last time.
Yeah, do tell Hellfish, because we want to know. Yeah, obtaining medals, ribbons, and badges. This is another good one, right? You can actually get free replacements of your medals, your ribbons, your badges if you need them, right? So, or if you want them. So if you want access to your chest candy, just follow this stuff online here. You click here. Ah, you're going to make me sign it with ID. Got me. Well, click there, go through all the stuff, do all the things, get your chest candy in the mail.
Yep.
All right. So there you go. Do they have one like requesting a flag?
Maybe.
Record corrections. Okay. Medboard, IDIS, discharge upgrade, dependence, Cold War certificate, claim types, advice for separating service members, space A flights, which is fun. You know all about that, John.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken 1 or 2 myself in the past. So these are fun. Want to fly for free? Sign this paper and at your
wait.
local recruiter's office.
Wait anywhere from 24 to 96 hours to see if you're on the flight.
Right. Don't mind waiting for flights. Dude, I had to haul my whole family back and forth for like 3 days while we were in line at like 5 a.m. to see if we made the manifest, dude.
Yep.
I mean, if you don't mind that, you're saving several thousands of dollars when it comes to a flight, wherever you want to go. But you might end up with a pissed off wife. I'm just going to put that out there. So
maybe.
Yeah.
Bring lots of board games.
Go, man. Yeah. Bring lots of board. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, man.
Where's like, what's up?
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, where's one place that you went to? Space A.
Space A? I've been to many places. Overseas.
Pick the best one, man.
Overseas, Ramstein Air Base is by far the best Space A terminal on the planet, I would say. One of my top 5, I guess.
Nice.
And then stateside wise, I don't know. They're all pretty decent. BWI, going and taking Space A through BWI is actually pretty interesting sometimes. Dover, Delaware, Joint Base Dix McGuire up in Jersey, Pope Air Force Base right outside of Fort Bragg, or whatever it's called nowadays. Took a couple flights from the West Coast, from was it Sacramento, whatever that air base is out there in Sacramento. I forget what it's called. Travis, maybe.
Travis, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And then Rota, Spain, of course, here, Sigonella, Naples, Aviano, Spangdahlem, lots of really cool places.
Very nice. And it's what? It's like $30 for the fuel surcharge, and that's it, right?
It depends. If you fly pure military flight, if it's not a rotator, then sometimes it can be free. Sometimes it's up to like $20 or $30 for a flight if you're on a rotator flight.
Okay. Because I had taken one to Virginia. That one was about $30. But when I went from mainland Japan to Okinawa, we were the only ones on the flight. There was no cost for that one. My family was the only one on the flight, and it was like one of those private jets, like G7s.
Yeah.
Some lieutenant colonel was flying
C9,
it.
C5, C9.
Something like that. Yeah. And it was like, it was amazing, dude. It was like the seats were all plush and leather, you can spin around.
Yep.
Kids were loving it, man. I mean, the flight was only like 2 hours, 3 hours, but it was amazing. It was amazing. and no cost. I mean, they got to take the jet over there anyway. Might as well bring people on board with you.
Yep.
So, oh yeah, I loved it,
I've done
dude.
a couple of
It was
those.
awesome. I am planning on doing more Space A flights this summer. I missed out on this past summer just because we had a lot of stuff going on with like little league stuff and for the kids.
Mhm.
But yeah, this coming summer, man, I'm going everywhere, dude. Anywhere I can go. But I did see that they were cutting out the flights from Seattle to Europe. Did you
Maybe. I
see
know
something
they
about that?
I know they turned off one of the rotators coming through here actually. The commercial rotators. So yeah, they've pared down a few of the flights just because lack of people, maybe lack of funding because those things do cost money.
Yeah.
They're contracted.
Yeah, yeah. So if let me preface it by saying, when I was in Japan, retirees or people who were visiting the base couldn't always get access to the base.
Yep.
They'd have to go to the gate, the front gate, and then register before they even get access to the base. Where you are, what's the closest base where you are?
Right down the street, Sigonella.
Sigonella. So, me being a retiree, would I be able to gain access to Sigonella?
Yeah,
Or would I need
absolutely.
to do something else?
Yeah.
I
No,
would.
you just here in Italy in general, it's pretty easy, but here for sure, you just go to the base. You can actually get on-base lodging if you want, but you have to go to the base, get a base pass to actually get on the base. If you have a vehicle, you got to get a vehicle pass. But that's pretty much it. And then you can get on and off the base. There's not a lot to do here. It's not a whole bunch of stuff here, but you can definitely get on the base and stay there for a pretty decent price. It's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather stay on a base and get it for lower price and then just drive or take public transportation outside if I need to.
Yeah. Probably have to get a rental car or get somebody to give you a lift. Maybe you know somebody who lives here.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Well, we're playing around with the idea. We like to do like an international trip somewhere, some country, some new country every year. We're playing around with the idea of Europe next year.
Yeah.
So we'll see what ends up happening. I put out the ideas, and then the wife comes in with her ideas, and we usually end up doing what she wants to do anyway. So
yeah,
that's how it is.
I mean, once you get to Europe, anywhere in Europe, really, whether it's Germany or Italy or the UK or whatever, like once you get in Europe, you can pretty much go anywhere you want within a few hours on a train or take a flight for 50 or 100, $200, pretty much anywhere. So
yeah, man, that's what I love about that. I really do. I mean, the train. I was looking at the whole train system. So we were supposed to go to Portugal last year, so we had got tickets and all that stuff, and then some stuff happened and we couldn't end up going. But yeah, I was just looking at the cost of the train system. Like if I wanted to go to Spain, it was like a 2-week trip. If I wanted to go to Spain, just take the train over there. A few hours, you wake up in whatever, Madrid or wherever you go in Barcelona. But very convenient. What is it called? Euro Trail or something? Euro Rail,
yeah.
Euro Rail, yeah. So
This
there you
is
go, Hellfish Haven.
One you might want to consider if you're thinking about coming to Europe, because they just started to implement this new process of getting in and out of the country and checking in and out of the country. Let me throw it on stage real quick. Can I? No, hold on. Remove.
Oh, there you
Add.
go.
Boom.
ETS.
The ETIAS, basically the European Union entry and exit through the country is all going to be digitally scanned, so they can check when you come in the country, check how long you've been there, so you don't exceed your 90-day visa status. You have to apply online. You got to pay a little fee. So yeah, you kind of have to do that now in a lot of places, in a lot of bigger airports, if you're trying to get in and out of Europe.
So I'm gonna have to check that out there. Yeah.
Yep.
Old Hellfish Haven mentioned he was stationed in, how do you say that? Grafenwohr?
Grafenweer.
Graffin beer, and
Yeah.
we so easy to travel on trains to get anywhere. Yeah, man, that's the beauty of it, man. I really wish the US had like a better train system. Because I mean, I would love to just ride around. I want to go to New Mexico. I want to go to, wherever, up north. I mean, they have like the Pacific Rail or whatever it is here, but that goes
Mhm.
up and down. I'd like something that goes across that doesn't take so long. I got spoiled by taking the Shin train over in Japan.
Bullet train.
Um, yeah, dude. I mean, but what normally would take us like a 12-hour ride in a van that we'd rent,
Yep.
because we were down by Hiroshima, and then we'd drive up to Tokyo to go to Tokyo Disney. And it was about 10 to 12 hours. We'd stay at the Navy base up there in Yokosuka. I was stationed at MCAS, Marine Corps Air Station Iwakuni, about 30 minutes south of Hiroshima, I think it was. But we would drive up to Yokosuka or stay at the New Sano. The New Sano Hotel is beautiful. Anybody out there who's looking to go to Tokyo and you want to stay at a nice hotel, but it's military only, like not active duty, like retirees and all that stuff, similar to the Halekoa in Hawaii. You stay at the New Sano Hotel, Sanno. It's one train ride away from downtown Tokyo.
Hmm.
Beautiful area. They have like there's a Navy exchange inside the hotel, has an indoor pool, is beautiful, man. But stay there, and the rates go according to what your rank is or
Mhm.
what you were at when you retired, right? So definitely stay around there. But yeah, we had a great time going out there. What would normally take 10 hours to drive from Iwakuni to Tokyo, taking the Shin train was about 4 hours. So similar to like taking a flight or something. But yeah, man, New Sano. Let me see if I can bring that up on
Downtown. Yeah, I got it. If you want it.
New Sano Hotel.
Mhm.
I freaking love that hotel, dude. Oh, is it up here? Yeah. You could stay like in these yeah, here we go. New Sano. It's nice, man. That's like the whole gym area and the pool area up here.
Yeah, I'm on their website checking it out.
Yeah, there you go. The pool area. Yeah, very nice, very nice. But check out the New Sano. And the Halekoa in Hawaii is awesome. Also, only military. Halekoa. I mean, look at this, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
It's right next to the Hilton Hawaiian. Amazing. We've stayed there many times, many times. When we were stationed out just to do like a staycation out there in Hawaii. But yeah, anyhow, getting back to this thing here. There's disabled American veterans, divorced and creditors, fiduciaries.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna hop off, man. It's past my bedtime.
Yeah, do your thing, man. Yeah, thanks for coming on. I know I text you like last minute. I'm like, look, man, I really just want to jump on here. I was reading through the website. I'm like, I got to let people know about this stuff. And I thought, you know what? Let's tell John about it. Maybe he'll want to jump on as well.
Yeah,
But,
luckily
no, I
saw your
appreciate you
thing.
coming on.
No, man, always when I got time, I can do it. I'll hop on
Yeah, man.
all the time.
Might have to do it throughout the week instead of just only Sundays, man. We'll see. Depending on what your schedule looks like.
I just started my Italian 211 class, so we'll see how it goes.
Here we go. So, yeah. All right, brother. Take it easy, man. Have
always
a good
fun,
evening.
always fun. Have a good one.
All right, man. Okay. Still going through a couple different things on here. Let me see. If anybody wants to jump on the studio, feel free to come on for a little bit. I got some time before I got to get to an appointment. So, bam, here is the link to come on stage and come hang out for a little bit, drinking some drink, going through the Veterans Benefits knowledge base here. Divorce and creditors. I guess it gives you some information on if you're going to get a divorce and stuff. Let me see. Finding those you served with. VA mail forwarding websites. Together We Served was a good one. I'm a member of that one. Veterans of the U.S. military stay connected for life. Yeah, this is a cool one here. Together We Served. You can put your ribbon rack on there. Easy to find folks on there. I found folks that I've served with, that I went to boot camp with on Together We Served. Just to reconnect with them. Very cool. Very cool. So awesome. VA Money Matters. Yeah. Hey, Hellfish, man, come on over if you want. Let me see what time my next thing is here. Yeah, I got a few minutes before I got to get off here, but definitely got some time to hang out, man. Legal help, finding those who serve federal benefits. So one thing I want to do is I want to make a video on state benefits, state by state. So that's something I'm working on. It's quite an undertaking, and I know sites like Army, I think it's the Army benefits site has them, but I just want to present it in an easy to learn kind of way. Congressional clothing allowance. Here's a good one. Clothing allowance. So that's also, I think there's extra pay you can receive through VA disability. If veterans who wear or use prescribed prosthetics, orthopedic appliances, and or skin medications for a service-connected disability that causes excessive wear and tear of clothing, skin medication causes irreparable staining to your outer garments, you can get a clothing allowance through the VA. So it says for those whose service-connected conditions permanently damage clothing, the VA will pay a yearly tax-free stipend to help offset the cost of buying new clothes. Very nice. And if you want to know who's eligible, if you want to know how to apply for it, veteransbenefitskb.com. This site is awesome. Definitely jump on that. Franby Franco, hey, welcome to the chat, man. Good having you. We're just going over Veterans Benefits KB. It's a veterans knowledge base on really any question I've ever had on veterans benefits, what I rate, housing, anything like that. I jump on this website. So this website is it's built off of like these Reddits and subreddits of all these questions and answers that people have, and they consolidated all the information on here on veterans benefits knowledge base. It looks like it's founded by this dude Leightonate. I don't know who that is, and the chief editor is Staff Sergeant Rock. The subreddit is veterans benefits. Vets helping vets help themselves. Awesome spot, fruit snacks. I'm getting hungry. My mouth is salivating right now. Dear Marine friends, right? Loving me some crayons, so fruit snacks. But yeah, Discord server, all that good stuff, VA tracker app, all that. So very cool site. It has VA master conditions list. Let's go over here. Mike, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Howdy, howdy.
Dude, I like the background, man.
Absolutely.
Are you in an alleyway or what's happening?
So I've got the Hellfish Haven logo and the smoke there.
Mm-hmm.
And in Cambridge, outside of the bar I used to bounce at, we had a graffiti alley. So people would just come and spray paint and tag whatever they wanted. And so this was one of the images I had one day of it.
Oh, right on, man. It reminds me of where I grew up in Jersey. I grew up in in a place that was all tagged up. Very cool, man. I like it. So yeah, how's everything going for you, man?
Doing well. We got a event coming up this upcoming weekend. We do coffee and camaraderie once a month at a VFW here in North Attleboro, Mass. Basically, we have I set up a Switch 2. We got board games, card games, chess, and then video games and stuff for the. We have vets and their families come because we try to make it an event that you don't have to pick and choose whether or not you're spending time with the vets or you're spending time with the family. We try to make it so that you can do both at the same time. And so a lot of the dependents, the kids can play together, doing the video games and things like that. The older veterans are playing the card games and the board games. And even, we've got the veteran teaching the younger one some of the games. Like I bring Don't Break the Ice, or the game with the straws and the marbles, Kerplunk.
Kerplunk, yep.
So I bring some of the older games, so that way, guys can play those together. And we've got the giant Jenga. And so just try to have that. And we got a local realty company that actually sponsors it now. And so they provide us with a couple bucks each month so we can buy the box of Joe, the donuts, the muffins and everything. So that way we have that available. So that way it's just legit, a nice, safe, sober environment for guys to come enjoy, the camaraderie. That's, the biggest thing that's lost, in the service for these guys, is when you get out is you don't have that presence of having somebody there, 24/7, it's a pain in the butt when you're in the service of having somebody there all the time. But, it's one of those things that you do miss when you get out, not having the, somebody to reach out to that's going through the same situation. So we're just trying to rebuild a spot for that.
That's right, man. Mike, man, you were speaking some truth there, man. After you leave the service, your phone definitely stops ringing, doesn't it? And you wonder, where's all the, it almost makes you feel like you're not really needed anymore, but you got to make an effort too, man. I mean, I know for a fact that I reach out to folks, right? Just the other day, I made a video about doing a buddy check. I sent out some texts to some friends, make sure that they're all good. Former Marines, some Army folks that I know, Navy folks, just to see how they're doing, man. And it definitely does feel good when you get that text. It makes you feel like somebody does give a damn about me, so you're not alone. Yeah, absolutely. I feel you on that.
It's always too important to check in on those folks that are, not even just higher up in rank, but just people that are in leadership positions, because a lot of times they're the ones that are, taking the questions. They're the ones that are, fielding the anxiety and the confusion and the tough questions from their soldiers and from the people that they've led before. And, it's always good to reach out to those guys too and make sure that they're doing all right, not just taking everything in and, and bottling up and making sure that they have an outlet as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the VFW near me does something like that. They do it every other weekend. They do a breakfast. They do karaoke nights. They do, what else do they do? Breakfast, dinners, karaoke nights. They do these coffee connections, similar to what you're talking about. It's just a way to get together, and the local businesses kind of fund all that stuff. They sponsor it. So very cool. So that way we have coffee, we got donuts and all that stuff, similar to what you guys are doing. But very good to connect with folks. It's so simple to do. And it's there's just so many posts that are out there that only focus on their canteen and only focus on the alcohol sales. And it's there needs to be, the outreach, being a part of the community that they're in, whether it's, hosting, baseball signups or, doing something to give back to the community. So that way you reach out to the veterans that may not be affiliated with the post and may just have a kid that's playing baseball and, may come in that way, just finding different ways to get to people. And one of the big things with the Haven is that we wanted to reach veterans, using, video games. We wanted to be able to reach out to guys, that may not be affiliated, but are, on a Discord, or we can reach out to them, when they're playing, online gaming with a friend, and use that as an outlet to be able to reach the guys. And we had in the Legion that I was the commander of, we had a big buck hunter. So over the winter, when they would close down these places down Cape Cod, the guy that rented out the video game systems, he would take them and put them in a garage for the winter. And so I worked out with him and said, hey, instead of putting it in the garage for the winter, can we bring it to the Legion and, we'll have it there. And we did a 50-50 split where, whatever money went into the machine, half went to the guy that, provided the machine and half went to the post. And, we had guys that would come in and they just loved the fact that they could get their name on the top 3 list. And, they would come in, a week later and see if, somebody beat their score and, start firing in the quarters to, get their position back. And, sometimes 2 or 3 guys would come in, they would have, a tournament, playing the golden tee or the silver strike with the rolling ball.
And a couple of the older guys, we got a pinball machine, and a couple of these Vietnam era guys would just sit over there. They get like a $10 stack of quarters, and they would sit there with their Miller High Life, and they would just enjoy it. Just being able to play pinball.
Yeah.
They're
love
not going
that.
to go to an arcade,
awesome.
but they do enjoy the fact that it was there at the Legion to be able to use.
Yeah, that's man. I could stand pinball all day, dude. Pinball. Randomly, I like the little basketball shootout thing.
Yep.
At the arcade. So I go with my kids. There's like a local Chuck E. Cheese here, or even like the Dave and Buster's, and I'm on that thing for hours, dude. Like I got my stack of quarters. It's either pinball at like the local arcades or a little basketball shootout thing. That's my jam, man. But no, that's awesome, dude. I'm glad you got a hold of that guy and got all those video games out of that garage, because I mean it's a useful thing, right? You're connecting with folks through that. Yep. Very good.
And then of course, the tough part is why we had to make the Haven was because when it came time to, the Legion that I was at the commander of was Foxborough, the home of the Patriots. And we had the canteen was downstairs, but there was only a working urinal. There was no working toilets downstairs. So in order to use the facilities, you would have to climb a flight of stairs. And of course, your older veterans and, any, female patrons would have to go upstairs into the dark hall to be able to use the restrooms. And it gets to the point where, it was keeping people away from, coming to the post.
Right.
And, I tried to vote with some of the other people on the electric, on the e-board. We tried to vote to move the bar upstairs when there weren't events going on, that we would just have the bar upstairs. Anytime the hall was rented, we would go back downstairs for the night. But, the trustees decided to block me and say, no, the bar's going to stay where it is. And then less than a year later, they decided to sell the entire building. So we lost the post altogether. So it was like they chose to disassemble and close down the place rather than move the bar upstairs.
Yeah. Oh, damn, man. That sucks.
So it was tough because like we just lost a spot for veterans to be able to come in together. And it's like,
yeah. So are you looking for a new place?
Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do now is put a place for the Haven to build together, because the Legion just went over to the VFW, and they just, do their once a month meeting at the VFW, because the VFW isn't even the VFW in town. So the VFW had a woman fall in the parking lot years ago. When she went to court, nobody on the VFW showed up. So judgment claim.
Wow. And
they wound up selling the property. They had some shady going on there where they, you have to advertise if a sale's going to go on like that for their auction. And they didn't advertise in local papers. They advertised in papers further away down the Cape. So that way people didn't know about it. And it got sold, at a low price to a local, businessman. And, now the place is called the V. So they're trying to still, get the, people to come in and rent the hall and everything. But all the hall rentals go to this private corporation. And, the money for that does not go to the veterans in the town. But they allowed the veterans to still have the basement as the canteen, and as like a small spot where they've got, 2 pool tables, a small jukebox, and, just the bar itself.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, there's somewhere, right? But I assume that's a whole rental thing too, right? They're having to rent that basement out.
No, so it's crazy that, we went from having these 2 buildings in town for the veterans, and then, we lost 1.5.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out a way that we can, we can put together a new place to, to get veterans together. And that's what the Haven was. I initially opened a spot in Boston where we had 2 offices right next to each other. One was like a community area. We had a couple of TVs mounted on the wall, video game systems hooked up to it. We had, books, magazines, things like that. We had a bookshelf with, different board games, card games. Guys would come in almost just like a day room, sort of like where like, the guys could all hang out at the end of the day and use that area. And then the other room was a peer support and a computer lab. We had 3 laptops, that were set up, and guys could come in, education, employment, or VA benefits, could guide them through what was going on. A lot of things that we wound up doing was like a tech, like teaching them actually how to use it. A lot of the older guys during COVID, they got we were directly across the courtyard from a homeless shelter for veterans. So there were 38 previously homeless veterans that were living in a shelter there permanently across the courtyard, and they all got these iPads for during COVID to be able to communicate with their doctors and the VA and their families and things like that. And a lot of them didn't know how to use it. So what we did is we put together a course to teach them how to use it. And when we first tried to do the class as a large whole, guys really weren't interested. And then when I offered it one-on-one, guys actually came through and were able to sit down and go over how to actually use the iPad, how to download apps, basically, a start of, how to use it. And, otherwise it was just sitting there in these rooms, as a paperweight.
Damn. Yeah, I know that's a big thing too. I know I've seen that the VA sends out like these tablets and stuff to be able to connect. But if you don't know how to use it, what good is it? So awesome that you're doing that, man.
Absolutely. So we were there for a year. When our contract expired there, we decided to go mobile with it. And we just we do the events with the coffee and camaraderie. We'll do game nights at different organizations, whether it's, a video game night, whether it's a board game night. And we worked with, service dog organizations. I've got a black lab, greyhound mix. Jose is my service dog. I've had him for 4 years. And the organization we went through there, Operation Delta Dog, we'll go up there and we'll do like a game night there where the guys will come in, they'll bring their service dogs, they'll all hang out underneath the table together while we're playing, a group game and, just different things to build that camaraderie. Because you do see the isolation and the way that veterans, keep to themselves if they don't have an outlet.
You ever think about doing fundraising for that? Trying to get other organizations to fund maybe the rent for another location?
I have been, and what I've been trying to think of is like where we do have the stadium in town. They have a program where it's like something about like salute to service, and it's got a thing where it connects with local nonprofits and the Patriots organization. And I'm trying to figure like a way to be able to, really to pitch it to see, because they have a big retail area up there called Patriots Place. And, before it used to just be the stadium and the parking lots, and that was it. And now they've got, restaurants, they've got stores, they've got also stuff up there, but there's always these empty, storefronts that are up there. And even if it's, the smallest one that they had, like a Lindt chocolate was up there, and it was just a small, thin little straight back, you walk in, you walk out, storefront. And, even something like that, if we could get set up and have, available and have the information and resources there during game days where veterans, you get, 60,000 people come in the area for a game. Right. And, if we could get, a couple of veterans here and there to be able to get the information on different VA apps, get enrolled into a veteran service organization, or just even get connected somehow, with whatever they're struggling with, would be a huge success. So we're trying to figure a way to pitch that to the Patriots organization and be able to see what it would, what it would cost or what it would take to be able to get an area up there.
Yeah, that'd be amazing, dude. Where'd you say it was located? The area where you're trying to get a location?
Foxborough, Massachusetts.
Foxborough?
Yep.
That's awesome, man. I'm asking because I don't know anybody in Foxborough, but I know folks who run veteran organizations. Maybe get them in contact with you, or is your Hellfish Haven, is that already a nonprofit, or?
Yep, we are.
It is. Okay.
Yep. We're a 501c3. since 2021 is when we got our EIN, and we're
Okay.
put in as a nonprofit. And
Awesome.
since then I haven't pushed hard and done a ton of the fundraising. I basically do a lot of the funding myself as a disabled veteran who's retired.
Yeah.
I basically use this as my outlet, and this is the thing that I enjoy doing, to be able to use the experience and the things that I've gone through to be able to share with people my story, and be able to share my experiences to help guys out. Because as a retired sergeant first class, I thought I had everything set and ready to go, and all of a sudden, as I went to go retire, I went from the warrior transition unit, where I was all set, was in Fort Knox, got PCS to West Point with 3 days left in the service. In the middle of December, they said, hey, we're going to PCS you up here to West Point because it's going to be easier to have you just drive home from West Point, to Massachusetts, versus flying you from Fort Knox. So, the green weenie got me one last time.
Oh, God.
And of course, it was the middle of December, and I'd already turned in all my cold weather gear at Fort Knox, like when I went through CIF.
Yeah.
I'd already turned in everything, and it was like, yeah, go up and, to New York in the middle of winter. And so it was like, I did that, and they had me up there at West Point for 3 days. And then to sign my 214, the machine was down. So I didn't even have to sign the 214. So I literally was up at West Point for nothing. I got my little, thank you for your service, like retirement kit that they give you, like with the little flag, the little like stamped like thing from the president that says, thank you for your service or whatever. And then like the little like Army retired pin.
Yeah.
And so I got a little box of that stuff, and then sent on my way to go on my terminal leave.
Wait, is your DD2? It's your DD214 is signed, right?
Nope, my DD214 says unavailable to sign at the time, and has like a code in the signature block.
Is that valid?
Yep.
It is? Okay.
It's so weird, because it's like, I'm like, this is the one thing that's like, I need for the rest of my life. And,
Yeah.
you literally have a little comment in the thing that says, service member, unavailable to sign at the time.
I was going to say, I was like, is that valid, or have you been UA for like years?
I've just been using that because, like I said, as a guardsman, each time I came off active duty, I have a 214. So each one of my tours, I have a 214 from. So I have a 214 when I was a specialist, when I came off my first tour, sergeant on my second tour, staff sergeant on the third tour, and then on the fourth tour, and then into the WTU as a sergeant first class. And it's got the 9 years active out of the 13 in the guard.
Man. Yeah. So I know about that. Yeah. Every time you re-enlist, I think you get a new, a DD214 or something like that put into your record or something. So damn, but to not have it signed, I went over there and physically signed all my stuff when I got mine. So you ever thought about can you even get that changed? Like, so you can actually sign?
I do not know. I should probably.
Or does it matter to you? I don't know.
If it's possible, just to, have the warm and fuzzy at the end to know that it's, that it's legally signed. Because right now, like I said, it's got, some sort of code in the block that says, whatever the rule that says, if the service member is unable to sign it, this is, what makes it, still a legal document. That's
right. Well, damn, man. Well, I mean, if it works, right? I wouldn't change it if it doesn't work. So, or if it continues to work.
And the big thing I've had trouble with lately is the, how as of October 1st, in order to get onto the VA's website, you have to have your ID.me verified.
That's right.
I do not have a license. I do not have a passport that is active. My passport expired a couple years ago because I haven't been traveling anywhere. And so when I went to go on ID.me to figure out how to, get it approved, there is no way without a driver's license or a passport that you can do it, because they won't accept the military ID because ID.me makes a copy of whatever ID you give them in their file, and you're not allowed to legally make a copy of a military ID.
That's right. That's right. Well, damn. I guess, how do you get around? You can get an ID from the DMV though. Like, not having a license, you can get an ID there.
Yeah, I can get a state ID.
Yeah.
But right now it's like 8 to 10 weeks out to get an appointment.
Oof.
So it's like I've been trying to fight the ID.me and VA to see, because I feel like I can't be the only veteran out there that doesn't have, an ID or a passport that uses a military ID as their, a military ID is one of the 4 legal, federal IDs that you can use for identification.
Yeah, my agreement.
It's just like these
I don't know, man.
They want to keep a record of it, it kind of screws you.
Damn, Mike, man. Everything's an uphill battle, dude. It really is. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, Mike, man, I got to get to an appointment here. I look forward to having you on the show, man, with John over on the Military Retirement Podcast here coming up. I don't know if we already have a date established, but if not, we're going to have to lock one down, man. I'm sure that we got a ton to talk about regarding your nonprofit, regarding what you're doing with veterans, man. Sounds like all good things.
Absolutely. Really, like I said too, if you guys, have any questions, feel free, hellfishhaven.org is the website with all our stuff for the nonprofit. Feel free to drop a line or an email. Any questions that, folks have, whether it's, disability claims, whether it's, things that are just trying to figure out the different benefits or, things that are out there. I'm a big advocate for things like the mindfulness app that the VA has, just any little thing that can make your day better, So thank you for having me on.
Yeah, Mike, anytime, man. Thanks for coming on. We'll
definitely lock down a time to be on, for a full episode for you guys.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right. Everybody out there still listening, I got to get to an appointment. Godfather, I am not ignoring you, man. I promise you, I will answer your questions in the chat. Let me lock on. I got to go to like a Zoom meeting and all that stuff. So let me lock this on. Let me do this thing. And Godfather, I got you next, man. Trust me. Thank you all for listening. This has been the Green Logbook. Join us every Sunday for the Military Retirement Podcast. Me and John will be on there talking good stuff with veterans, about veterans, for veterans. And, of course, my Green Logbook. Help me get to 7,000 subs. That's my next step. And once I get to 10,000, I'm doing another giveaway. This last giveaway was an actual leather journal case. So big ups to Navy. Gosh, what's the name? Oh, God. Anyhow, we had a winner, retired Navy dude. He won the last one. So looking forward to giving one away. Godfather, I got you, man. But with that, I got to get out of here. I don't want to miss this VA appointment. Thanks for joining me on the Green Logbook.